Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome to a bit of a random battle out in the open ocean between two fireworks and a whole host of the Onyx Watch forces. In today's episode, we are continuing where we left off in the rain and the darkness to see if we can survive against the onslaught of the Onyx Watch. So far, I have been attacked several more times between episodes, but we have been able to repel them each time. One thing is clear though, the laser I built was nowhere near good enough, and trying to upgrade it right now is a bit foolhardy. It just isn't working. I've looked up some of the stats to make a better laser, and it's not really going all that well. On the upside, the fireworks kind of counter the very early game of the Onyx Watch, which is pretty nice to see. And on that note, on things which are nice to see and not nice to see, isn't this game very dark and dreary? So the Onyx Watch campaign is basically grey. Everything is grey. It's raining, it's dark waters, the enemy are grey and all sorts of dark colours and browns. It's quite dreary, quite dull, and honestly looks horrible. The problem is, during editing the last video, I realised how dark the video would also be, especially with YouTube compressing everything. So I'm going to endeavour to try and brighten up the screen without making it look really washed out. I'm not sure if I'll have enough time for this video, since I am going back to England for my fiance's surgery literally tomorrow. But if I can, hopefully in episode 3 it will be brighter. If not, we'll try and find somewhere where it's not raining. Although I think everywhere may be raining. Also, this is going to take a while, because I think my lovely fireworks are actually out of metal, so their reload speed is utterly abysmal. Yeah. We'll just finish off here. We're currently out in the open ocean, like I say, because I was having a bit of an explore, because I was curious about the Deepwater Guard areas. And we'll be right back, making our fortress a bit more defensible. Okay, maybe not. That explosion was absolutely beautiful. Now we'll go away. Or not. Okay, stop making things look cool, fireworks. It's too dark to make things look awesome. But look at all the little pieces in the water. It's so awesome. Everything is beautiful. Where are they? There's that one. The firework is above us. Also, EMP against this type of ship is utterly useless. The EMP blast goes nowhere because of all the wood. The only damage being done is from the frag, which the most damaged of the two fireworks is currently using. And even then, not on all the missiles, so may have to swap those out until we're facing larger, more metallic opponents, is what I was going to say there, which is a weird thing to say, indeed. Okay, they're all done. Let's get back and start defending. Remember when I said that I wasn't going to upgrade the laser? I may have actually lied. I do really want to see how well the laser can fare if we put a bit more resource into it. So, let's do the lasers again, but this time a little bit smarter, hopefully. Lasers, laser coupler, Q-switch. Once again, I do apologise if this episode is a little bit dark. I really don't have time to start messing around with settings in the editing portion of creating this video, but I will, as much as possible, try to make it better for the next one. And if it is really bad, we could always swap campaigns. Since we've only just started, we always could swap to one of the White Flyers or something campaigns as we go. Okay, let's go down. Look at that's all lovely and blue. And still dark, because it's raining underwater. So, a few things which I did remember before I actually looked things up. First of all, we need armor piercing more than I first remembered. And, if I recall correctly, again I haven't looked this up so I might be wrong, the armor piercing we need is something like 21, 22 or 23. It's in that sort of margin before it then becomes pretty much pointless. After that, it's not really helping other than in very specifically niche areas, like I think the mantlets might be the one, if I remember correctly, or something like that. There are certain items. Oh, well, someone is already attacking us again. We won't attack them just yet. Thankfully, the firework is currently blockading them, so we can still build for at least 2 more minutes. And with that, we can just carry on doing this. There we are. Now, with the armor piercing as well, we don't necessarily need to put the armor piercing element on these sticks we've just created. We can instead put them anywhere connected to the laser Q switch, at least one of the laser Q switches. So I'm just going to do that. Check here, and it is now 11. And the reason is these don't affect specific beams, unlike the frequency doublers, which is the damage bonus, which does affect specific beams. 15, so we still need more, so let's cut out you, because I do need to take you down to 3 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that should be more than enough, I think. 25, so we can cut off a couple. 1, 2. And now at 23, so that was the maximum of my guessing, so that should be great there. Now, the frequency doublers increase damage of specific lines, which means if I attach it to here, it's going to upgrade this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so we'll want to do it evenly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe just go a bit more than necessary. There's a good chance that we're going a bit overboard with the laser pumps and not quite enough of the destabilizers. But until we have a time of peace for a little bit, where I can check the numbers when I'm firing, I can't really do much else. Now, we do have a lot of crystal this time, which means, oh yes, we can start using the RTGs. Although not that one, the biggest one apparently is still pretty big. Wait, did I put one down here? I completely forgot about that. Okay, well let's just remove that so we can add the larger version. No real reason, just I think it looks better. So now we have battery output 10, battery output 10, battery output 50, and the more batteries you have, of course, the more power we can store, but also the more powerful our wonderful electric engine is, which is the very, very small number in the bottom right underneath the engine number. It's how much power that can actually unleash. Now, this is probably a terrible idea, putting all the batteries together, but once again, we don't really have much time. Oh dear. 0 seconds until combat starts, so in a second, yep, there we go, we're forced into combat. Oh wow! That's more than I expected. We have a Poseidon, what on earth are you, sorry? Apparently I can't mouse over it again. Meridian, I think, the Defiant, and a Strausland. Okay, well, we're going to bring our all of our ships into play then, since there's quite a few of the enemy, and let's see how this does. And so there we go, into battle. Our laser is already firing, and it actually exploded something on the inside. Okay, yeah, the laser is now far better because it actually has some armor piercing. It's going inside the enemy ship. Wow, it's so hard to see what's going on with this rain and fog. Utterly obliterating the first enemy there with missiles and lasers. Their anti-air doesn't seem to be doing much against the firework, and the first enemy is already down. The power of the laser, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know how this one died. Perhaps the missiles hit it. Okay, well, one just died by being here. Goodbye. Haven't set up the AI yet to not attack salvage. Can you just everything ignore salvage, please? So many wasted missiles, so many wasted laser shots. Now, the thing is with the electric generator, is it provides more power, the more energy you have stored. So as you drain energy, the laser is actually going to get weaker because there's going to be less engine generation, which is a bizarre concept. Which means we actually want the energy production to be faster than the laser can drain by a significant margin, just to make sure it's always up. The laser's doing really well though, it's going straight through the enemy. This is why armor penetration is so important in this game. Oh, well done, firework. Also, the fireworks are helping out a lot. Still need to change their weapons, but I feel like I don't want to because I know what's going to happen. I'll change it to flak, then as soon as I do that, we'll face something like the hourglass or something similar to that. Speech is still a bit off. I'm rushed at the moment, can you tell, ladies and gentlemen, sir and sirettes, my lovelies? That laser though, I am really happy with how well that laser is doing. I'm surprised. Admittedly, the enemies are made out of mostly wood, but I am seeing when it hits a piece of metal, it is one-shotting it. It's not accurate enough though. And I still think anything with long-range capabilities will probably kill us, because we have like no defense currently on the fortress. It's basically a glass cannon. We can do a lot of damage, apparently. Maybe it isn't one-shotting things. Oh, there's a good chance our power reserves have gone. Okay, teleport back to our original base. Yeah, look at our power reserves. It's now down to only 8,500. So by the end of the battle, my damage capabilities were severely nerfed because my laser was basically offline. So I am not currently generating enough power. And this is after doing this. Yes, these are the least efficient engines you can actually make, but they are very space efficient. They're pretty insane, actually. I believe it's 370 something power per one. In fact, we can have a quick look-see whilst the battle just ends, because all we're doing is hitting a dead enemy. Maximum power 399 for this tiny little thing here, but it drains fuel really quickly, so it's only okay on places which is actively producing its own fuel, which we are. I could have easily captured that, like really easily, but I didn't. Now battle finished. We don't actually have anything which can currently grab the resources, which is really annoying. Pull all. Yeah, okay. Back, repair, and then let's go back to our fortress. Oh, another enemy already! What do you got? We have the hourglass. Freaking called it! Okay. Walk back to the force. Spawn it back in as well. Everything is so dark and dreary, I can see why YouTubers avoid this campaign. Well, let's hope we can just get through it quickly then, eh? Now, having more batteries, of course, means between battles we can have more charge simply ready to go, but I would also like it to be faster at replenishing, so we can currently only afford the small list, and if we do that, our crystal farms will slow down. So, is it worth doing that now? I don't think it is. What we need to make sure to do is to keep the fireworks a bit ahead, so when the enemy gets here, they'll get blockaded. Whee! Okay. Wow, everything's so dark. I can't believe how dark this campaign is. I do feel like this may be a bit of a mistake doing this campaign, and I don't know how I'm going to make it look brighter without making it look absolutely stupid, but I would rather it look stupid than just completely dark for everyone. I don't really care about these weapons. I need a way to defend all this. All this is so vulnerable, but everything's vulnerable. What I need is a spare 10 minutes to start converting everything into at least metal. Or shields. Shields would be great as well, but I don't have the power for it because my freaking laser's using it all. Okay, it's getting nighttime now, so I'm going to just skip ahead until the battle, and hopefully I'll have figured out a few ideas. Well, that is not very good. It turns out I did not have enough time to finish the missile silo, which means I'm going to be building in the middle of a battle versus an enemy I'm fairly certain has armor-piercing rounds, which is going to obliterate our laser in a matter of seconds. So, with that being said, I'm going to spawn the fireworks really, really close to the enemy so their missiles hit as soon as they are fired, and I'm going to try and survive that way. Also, no, I was about to say the rapier would make a good shield, but I just realised the rapier at some point has died, because the rapier is a terrible, terrible ship, and I gave it way more credit last episode. So, begin battle. We're going to jump back onto the fishing hole. It's going to be a little bit brighter now at least. I am where? Come on, I just want to move over to where I was. Hello. I was actually really close. Okay, so we need to continue this. Where is what I want? I want this. Put this here. And then, oh! I didn't realise that doing this actually pauses things. That's good. Where are you? Okay, we've got a laser emitter because I'm fairly certain they have flares, or at least most of the enemies will in the future. There we are. Okay, we're not putting the AI on just yet, because the AI is a bad thing if we don't have everything else set up, like identify friend or foe. Although it's not really needed, actually, because we're not using that type of thing. Shut up. There. Yes! Missiles are launched. I didn't customize the missiles. If these actually reach the target, I will be freaking amazed. Okay, one AI is dead, and that's the hourglass, isn't it? Okay, so I have no idea what that even was. It's now dead. The missiles didn't go far enough. Darn it. The laser has actually caused this to start to sink. Please don't hit, please don't hit, please don't... Ooh, that looked really painful on our firework. That laser is doing a lot better than I expected. Still draining power too fast, though. We just don't have enough engine power currently to keep it running during a battle. Was I wrong about the hourglass having armor-piercing rounds? It has more cannons than I thought it had. No, I don't think the hourglass is actually the enemy I thought it was, and now I feel silly for being so scared. And the EMP is doing much better against this, though, because it's mostly metal. Look at it sink! It's adorable! Ooh, the hourglass has paddles. That's cool. Will we be saying goodbye to the hourglass anytime soon? I certainly hope so. Oh, it does have... Yeah, they are definitely arm-piercing rounds. Not the ones I thought, though. Ooh, 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 ooh. That, all of those are hitting that firework. Not doing too much, though. I saw some internal damage, but I feel like they're healing as fast as they were taking damage there. It's taking forever to actually kill this thing, though. Wow, I caught out the entire back section. Are they... Why do they have heliglide spinners? Maybe to try and keep it upright? Oh, I'm guessing it's too top-heavy. You're going down, aren't you? Your engine's gone. Or damaged. Now, if we get back here for a second. Okay, you guys. Short-range thruster. Oh. Oh, what? Oh, that's just... No, everything here is wrong. Everything here is wrong. You should be a... I can't even find one. I'm looking for what's the worst thing, so I'm kind of still panicked. Variable thruster, and I'm going to turn you down a little bit to make you a bit more efficient. Just a touch. Just a touch. Maybe about... yeah, about there, okay. Now they'll be slower, but much longer range. In addition to the fact they simply now have more fuel as well. We're actually running out of ammo. We don't even have enough ammo on our fortress. Nothing is finished. I feel like I'm playing with so many unfinished designs. We're just throwing scrap at each other and seeing who wins at the moment. Yeah, that laser gets so weak once the energy is depleted. I mean, to be fair, we are losing like 5,000, 6,000 engine power once the battery is at this level. Yay, the missiles now hitting? Yes, they are. Okay. Although I didn't set the fragment to be low. Okay, back in a second when this guy eventually died. He's completely upside down. The EMP did not do as well as I thought it would. I might swap all of the EMP, even now we're facing things like this, just with regular missiles. Oh, saying that the AI has been killed, but there is of course a chance that was simply because of the delicious laser. Okay, laser charging up again, everything's right in the world. We now have 3,000 crystal, which means we can go into process resources, we can go into the RTG, we can do this one. Where's my little metal box? Okay, we win. And there's still resources everywhere scattered in the ocean. We need a ship with a decent supply hold, cargo hold, supply thing. You go there. That should be a bit more battery power. Okay, the laser is doing better than I thought it was. The EMP is doing worse than I thought it was. We are surviving, which is just mind-boggling. We have a very poor missile silo at the moment, and we have nowhere near as much ammo as I originally thought we had. So, let's continue then. Now I can actually see what I'm doing, so it's now daytime. This is as bright as it gets, by the way. Please say there's no more enemies on the way. Thank you. I'm so glad I didn't... I was tempted to upgrade the speed in which the enemy grew in power and got resources and, you know, sent enemies against us. And I am so glad that I didn't do this. That would have been such a terrible idea. It would have just utterly crushed us. Just completely crushed us. What just happened to my camera? Well, that was weird. And back there, okay. Why not? Oh, that's not how I wanted that to look on top, because I didn't do that. Okay. I see what I did there. Okay, so the outside is now smoothed off. I've started defending the inside a little bit, and now we can focus on the missiles themselves. I've added more missiles, and this is the setup we're going to go with. And I'm going to do some things I normally don't do. The first thing is the fragment warheads. I've decided we're going to have them so that they are a little bit less accurate when they explode. The fragments will go in a larger cone, which of course means it's less concentrated. The big pro to this, in my opinion, is if we're going to be firing loads of torpedoes, the chance of it damaging lots of little bits at once is much higher. Of course, the big negative, and it is a very, very big negative, it's not concentrated at all, so going straight through a target simply isn't going to happen, which normally does happen, especially if you're using a laser designator. The other fragment warhead will be a bit more accurate, so it does happen a little bit, but still not the most. We're going with 3 fuel tanks and 2 fins, so it's not going to be the most agile, but it should last quite a while in the air, and then we have the variable thruster. Now, one thing I did just realise is we really don't need this one turn, and I can't decide what I'm going to change it for. Am I going to to change it for a fragment warhead, or am I going to change it for some more fuel? I think we're actually going to increase the power of the missiles. So this is going to be completely inaccurate. Let's go for a nice number like 100, and that is how the missiles are going to be set up. We can't see a thing right now, so what I'm going to do is start to create a giant metal box underwater, which is going to hold a load of ammo barrels. Now, originally, I was going to simply go ahead and add a few ammunition processors, but it dawned on me. We need all the engine power we can possibly muster at the moment to keep our laser online, which is doing almost all of our damage, and because of this, I really don't want some of it being wasted. So, first of all, I am doing this for a purpose. I'm going to build this here so we can start protecting our laser components underwater. Then from this, I'm going to start connecting loads of different parts of the fortress together underwater, and from that, we'll have a giant metal ammo box, because being underwater makes it a lot better protected, and being completely coated in metal tends to do pretty well in terms of armor. Okay, I have one very large layer of ammo boxes currently being held in a metal box at the back of the other unfinished metal box, which will be finished as we get the resource. So right now, our fortress looks like a complete mess. It is very, very ugly, and clearly the defenses are in the wrong place. But I feel like this is just what we need to do, make sure we can survive. And then once that all happens, I can start extending all of this metal here, we can start making everything a lot prettier, and thus make a finished fortress. At the moment, we've just got to make do with what we're already doing. And yes, I had mirror mode on apparently the entire time I was placing all those ammo barrels. Maybe there's some ammo barrels now floating in the ocean. That would be interesting. Put that there, and one here. So yeah, that's what we can do. Something like this, we can just extend this metal wall, like I was just saying, all the way along the fortress, thus giving us a nice chunk of defense. Probably the easiest way to do this, honestly, rather than specific places being armored up, because I just don't feel like we've really got the time to waste. Oh, hello, Firework. You made it all the way back here to get healed. That's amazing. That's the one that had half of its engines ripped out, which I did check afterwards, and yes, half of the engines were completely ripped out by the armor-piercing rounds, because they have no shields anymore, so anything that hits them is doing damage, which really, really sucks. No enemies yet on the horizon. We also really need to get something to get all those resources, so what we need to do is make a very cheap vehicle and just send it on its way. I thought the rapier was dead. I was wrong. No, the rapier is dead. Now. We could repair it, and actually, it's pretty quick. We could use the rapier as a resource grabber, so just go out, get the resources, come back. Yeah, that makes sense. We can then begin to repair everything a lot faster. So pull all, and let's just wait until the next enemies show their face. I'm starting to feel really paranoid now. It's been 10 minutes, and there have been no more Onyx Watch attacks, and that is kind of bizarre, honestly, considering how frequent the attacks have been up until this point. Now, I'm hoping we're just getting a free respite period after the last few battles. I mean, we had like 6 in a row, very in a row, in fact, with almost no break. But I do also have a fear that perhaps it's simply the enemy getting ready to send larger ships our way. But on the upside, I have used this time to start armouring up the outside of our fortress. Of course, nowhere near done yet, but at least now not everywhere is just completely made out of wood, which is pretty darn good, so I can start moving these engines from the exposed areas to other places, and I can start making those boxes underneath the fortress a little bit more presentable. In fact, I can start making everything look a little bit more presentable, which is very, very nice. And actually, just looking at it, we have a load of crystal now left in reserve. So what I'm going to do straight away, before we continue, and before I forget, is make... Oh, well, I still can't make those, apparently, but I can make a couple more of these. So yay for that. A load more power. The more power we have, the more engine power we have, and the longer it will last. Let's use the 2 so we can put them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can afford one more. That fits pretty well. Okay, so now we should have a lot of engine power and a lot of battery reserve, which is really, really nice. In fact, I might add more batteries elsewhere, so that's awesome as well. Everything's going really well, and I'm surprised. On top of all that, I had a bit of a short break because my throat was absolutely killing me. As you may have been able to tell, my speech has been a little bit poor over the last few days, and talking is more effort than usual. Yay, speech impediments and all that buggery. And during that break, I may have figured out a way I can actually up the brightness of everything, the contrast in particular, without making it look too cartoony. Now, that does mean there's a chance that the red on the bottom of the screen and all the whites in the corners is a little bit too bright, but we should be able to see what's actually going on right now, which means all of my complaining earlier, if I've decided to keep it in, makes very little sense to you, and everyone's going to be really confused. So yeah, there's that. Continue this, and we'll do the opposite here. That's a really weird section of armor. I was hoping there'll be a bit more of a gap between them, but apparently not. Also, I'm so glad that they've added now the ability to copy the thing you're looking at, rather than always going into the menu. Admittedly, it's going to take a while for me to get used to it, but until then, like you just saw, I've just grabbed this wooden beam, so I'm no longer having to constantly go into my inventory, although right now I'm going to have to anyway, because of course, it likes to prove me wrong. There we are. That's a nice wooden pathway, then we'll do the same on the other side, so all this front is armoured up. But first, actually, before I forget, we should really armour up this section here where the laser is, so all this section here can become metal, thus providing us a little bit of defence. How am I going to do this piece here? Perhaps just flat out metal like that? Yeah, okay. Doesn't look the best, but it's nice and sheer and looks really fortressy. Ugly, ugly, grey, fortressy goodness. So, the game now has a tactical nuke. That's different. After finding out about the tactical nuke, is there any better way to end this episode? So there, on the end of a long stick, we have a nuclear weapon. Okay, that was pretty cool, gotta admit. Wow. I'm assuming that does a lot of damage. How much damage does it do? Does it actually say by any chance? Tactical nuke. Nope, just large kamikaze weapon, explodes, lots of damage, vehicle warranty and insurance invalidated by placement of this thermonuclear device. So, we have that. And I'm afraid, though, we are all out of time for today's episode. In the next episode, though, we are going to be continuing to fortify this fortress and making it a final form before we go out on the offensive. I also want to design my own ship. There's a good chance what we're going to do is get the rapier and upgrade it heavily. Maybe with a particle cannon, maybe with just more missiles, I don't know. I just want a cheap ship I can start spamming and sending out against the Onyx Watch, as at the moment, we're just kind of sitting here and hoping for the best, which isn't really that fun. I'm still amazed, though, that the enemy haven't attacked me yet. Let's have a quick look-see in the campaign settings, and growth factor. The rate at which enemy forces grow. High numbers will result in lots of fleets and fast fortification of enemy lands. It's still at 1. So, where are the enemies? I don't understand why they're being so passive now. I am thinking we're going to meet our demise soon, but let's hope our new and improved laser with way more power and our missile silo can defend us, although I am thinking we're going to need a lot more than that, and that's why, like I say, next episode, we're adding a lot more to the fortress. It is by no means done. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, then of course, likes, favourite, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Let's hope that everything looked quite nice and bright during this episode, and not completely dark. Onwards to editing.